Hey everyone, if you're getting ready for the PTE core, you know that listening section can feel like the final boss in a video game. But don't you worry, in this explainer, we're going to arm you with a clear, actionable guide to absolutely conquer every single task. So let's dive in and break down the strategies that are going to get you that top score.
Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we'll crack the test's overall structure. Then, we are diving straight into that first big task, summarize spoken text. After that, we'll navigate the quick-fire questions in Section 2, really zero in on the tasks that carry the most weight, and finally, we'll pull it all together into your ultimate winning strategy.
Look, I get it. The mix of all these different question types, the insane time pressure, that tricky negative marking, it's a lot. But by the end of this, you're not just going to feel prepared, you're going to feel confident. That feeling of being overwhelmed, we're going to fix that, starting right now. Let's kick things off with the big picture. Before you can master the individual tasks, you really need to understand the battlefield. Knowing the structure of the listening test isn't just kind of helpful. It is a massive strategic advantage. Seriously, think of it as your first win before the clock even starts ticking. Okay, so the first thing you have got to get your head around is that this test is split into two very different parts. Section 1 gives you a specific amount of time for each task. If you don't use it all, poof, it's gone. But Section 2, that is a whole different ballgame. You get one shared timer for all the questions in that section. That means if you're quick on one question, you get to bank that extra time for the next one. This is an absolute game changer for how you manage your time. All right, it's time to tackle your first major challenge. This is really where the test properly begins. It's called Summarize Spoken Text, and trust me, there's a reason it's labeled very important. It's a hybrid task that hits your score hard, testing both your listening and your academic writing skills all at once. So here's the deal. You're going to hear a short lecture, usually about a minute long. Your job is to grab the main idea and write a really tight summary. We're talking just between 20 and 30 words. And you've got a total of 8 minutes to get it done, which, by the way, includes the listening time. You can expect to face this challenge once or maybe twice. And this is the exact screen you'll be looking at. No surprises on test day. Getting familiar with this layout before the test is just so important for staying calm. You've got your audio player, the text box where you'll type, and that super important word count right at the bottom. Knowing this layout means you can put 100% of your focus on the task itself, not on trying to figure out where to click. For this task, note-taking is everything. Seriously. Before that audio even starts playing, you need to have your pen and notepad ready to go. As it plays, you're on the hunt for keywords, names, dates, anything that sounds important. Use abbreviations, do not try to write out full words. And hey, if you miss something, just let it go and catch the next point. Your goal isn't a perfect transcript, it's a bunch of organized clues you can easily read when it's time to write. Now you're ready for a secret weapon? Here it is, a fill-in-the-blanks template for your summary. Just look at the structure. The lecture focused on keyword 1, 2, and 3. Furthermore, you don't have to invent a perfect summary from scratch under pressure. Nope. Just plug your best 9 keywords into the structure. It basically guarantees your grammar is perfect, it helps you hit that word count, and it lets you focus on the only thing that matters, catching the right keywords. Okay, buckle up. We are now entering Section 2 of the listening test. Remember, this is the section with that shared rollover timer. The pace really picks up here. It's a series of shorter, faster tasks that demand laser focus and a really smart strategy. First up, you might see multiple choice, choose multiple answers. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You listen to a clip, you read the question, and you select all the options that apply. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, there's a catch. And yep, this is it. This is one of the very few tasks in the entire PTE exam that uses negative marking. And what does that mean? It means a wrong answer is actually going to cost you points. This is not the time for guessing, my friend. It's a time for absolute precision. So here's the only way to play this. For every wrong choice you make, you lose a point. So the strategy is dead simple. If you are even a tiny bit in doubt, select only the one answer you are most sure of. Do not even think about clicking a second option unless you are absolutely 110% positive it's correct. It's so much better to get 1 point for sure than to risk getting 0. All right, moving on, our next task is fill in the blanks. You'll listen to an audio clip, follow along with a transcript on the screen, and your job is to type in the words that are missing. This one is marked as important because it directly tests your vocabulary, your spelling, and your ability to type accurately while listening, all skills that seriously pump up your final score. Here's how you squeeze every last point out of this one. Use those few seconds before the audio begins to quickly skim the text and predict what kind of words you'll be listening for. As the audio plays, jot the answers down on your notepad. Don't try to type and listen at the same time. It's a recipe for disaster. Listen really carefully for word endings like S and ED. That's a super common place to lose points. And of course, always proofread your spelling before you click next. Okay, everybody, take a deep breath. We are now heading into the most critical part of the entire listening section. These next two tasks are the big ones, labeled very important and most important. This is where your score can either soar or stumble. Focus and strategy are absolutely non-negotiable from here on out. First up, highlight incorrect words. You listen to a recording while you read a transcript that has some deliberate mistakes in it. Your task is to click on the words that are different from what the speaker is actually saying. And you guessed it, be careful. Just like that multiple choice question, this task also has negative marking. The golden rule here is simple. If you're not sure, do not click. And here we are, this next task. This is it. This is the single most important task in the entire listening section. If you can master this one, it can have a massive impact on your overall PTE score. And here's exactly why it's so important. You are going to get 3 to 4 of these questions. That is a huge chunk of your score, with each and every sentence packed with points. The task is called Write from Dictation. So, here's the technique that makes this task totally manageable. You'll hear a short sentence. Just trying to remember it won't work. Your short-term memory isn't good enough under pressure. So, as you listen, you're going to type the first letter of every single word onto your screen or notepad. These letters become your roadmap to reconstruct the full sentence. Once you have the letters, fill in the words, paying close attention to the main content words like nouns and verbs. And finally, before you hit submit, check everything: spelling, the capital letter at the start, and the period at the end. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground. We've broken down the whole structure, and we've tackled every single major task. Now it's time to pull all of these strategies together into one final, powerful cheat sheet that you can take with you into the exam. Okay, this right here, this is your whole strategy on one slide. For summarized spoken text, it's all about that 9-keyword template. For the 2 tasks with negative marking, highlight incorrect words and multiple choice, the rule is simple. When in doubt, don't guess. For the most important task of all, write from dictation, your go-to technique is typing the first letter of each word. And for fill in the blanks, just remember, write on your notepad first, then type. This is the absolute core of a high-scoring strategy. So there you have it, a complete strategic breakdown of the PTE Core listening test. You're not just a test taker anymore, you're a strategist. You've got the tools, you've got the tips, you've got the templates. The only question left is which one of these high-value tasks are you going to start practicing and mastering today?